Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 8th of December. Gary, we're in the home straight. Whip it home, whip it home, whip it home.
You can hardly talk.
I can't.
He's exhausted.
After
It was
the
a big
Gary.
weekend, Philip. And let's just talk about the stats straight off the bat, because there was 21 out of 25. That is 84%.
84%
at this
on
time
the,
of year.
On the knocker, exactly 84%,
It
not
is.
83.7
No, up
or
or down, or
84.26. Right on the knocker.
Yes.
21 out of 25.
84%
Where
against the industry average.
Gary,
Put up
the
the towers.
industry, 60%. What were you doing? What were you doing all weekend,
Not
industry?
what we were doing, obviously, Phil.
Clearly weren't drinking the golden juice that we were
The golden
drinking.
juice from the golden goose, Phil. 21 out of 25. It was a big weekend. We're a bit
Shout
delirious.
out to the team. What a great result
Yeah.
you've done. We're finishing the
Congratulations,
year
team.
as a powerhouse. As a powerhouse.
And Phil, I just want to go away from real estate and just be nice and personal for a minute.
Yes.
There's a photo of Joel, sir, and he's just got married on the weekend. So congratulations to our lovely Joel.
Special shout out to
Yeah,
Joel Sir
exactly
and
right.
his lovely bride now, wife Ariella, who they came together on Sunday
Yes.
night. And what a beautiful couple. And how
Yeah,
about,
there we go.
Gary, the wedding waltz? I wish we
the
had.
wedding waltz, I know.
If we
Should
can
film
find
that.
some footage
was
for
good.
that, we're going to put it up
So
there. Somebody must have it.
Some canned applause very quickly.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's get into it. Phil, let's talk about reviewing some of the auctions. Yeah, and we're going to do something a little bit different.
What are we going to do, Gary?
Well,
Because
we
this
just,
is an unscripted show, viewers.
it is.
Completely unscripted.
It's just off the cuff nonsense.
Yeah.
We've got 4 properties unsold. We're going to talk about those. We'll go through a few of the
We're
highlights.
going to
Phil.
start with.
No, we're not going to start with what we didn't sell. We'll
Yeah.
talk about a few of the highlights. Raymond Grove was a highlight auction, Philip, in
was,
East Brighton.
Gary,
We love
sold
it.
for
in East Brighton.
hundreds of thousands of dollars over the reserve. Funny thing
many bidders
about
did you have
Raymond Grove, Gary had 5.
5 bidders is
Raymond
good.
Grove is one of those streets you would never ever go down.
No.
Because it's a court that comes off South Road.
Yes.
If you had no reason to go there, you wouldn't.
No, why
I
would
drove into this court.
Yes.
Raymond Grove,
Yes.
a court. What is the
Yes.
difference between a court and a grove? I've got no ideas. Viewers,
It's called court, you're right.
let
It's
us-
called
let
court.
us- It is a court.
Yeah,
What is the
I got
difference
it
between
wrong.
a grove and a court? But having said that,
A grove has a conclusion, Philip. A court is a closed
a
street.
grove has a conclusion.
Yeah. Well,
What
it
idiocy.
does. It goes through.
Are you making
The
that
grove
up on the
goes
spot?
through. I'm
Viewers,
not.
what is the difference between a grove and a court?
A court is
lunch,
closed.
Lunch at Los Chicos for the first correct answer.
A court is
for
closed.
2 people. Anyway.
Is it dead end? Was it a cul-de-sac?
It was a cul-de-sac.
That's why it's a court. A
But
grove isn't.
Gorgeous. I drove in. I felt
Yeah.
like I was back in Cootamundra in the country, Gary.
that
It had a
right?
real
Really?
country feel, a real
Fantastic.
village atmosphere. Lovely.
Did
it
you do a
was.
bit of a barn dance? A little bit of
Oh,
a...
well, I got my old farm, I got my old fiddle, sun comes up, I've got cakes on the griddle, life in nothing but a funny old riddle.
Woo-ha!
Woo! Thank God I'm
You're
a
a country boy. Let's keep going, Phil. That was wonderful. I
love that song.
Broke out into song. I know that. One Lucas Street was another highlight auction on Sunday, Phil.
Gary smashed a record price there. I thought that was going to sell in the mid-9s.
It's not undisclosed. You can just
Well,
you can talk about the
okay,
price.
so I arrived there expecting it to sell in the mid-9s.
Yep.
Lo and behold, 3 buyers just go hard at it.
Yes.
With hardly a break. Sold it for $1,080,000.
$80,000.
$80,000.
Great result. Phil, we go from Caulfield South to Caulfield North, Beresford Street, an apartment that Leo Samuel did.
What happened there?
It went nuts. You know, the reserve was well within the range, which was 520 to 570, but it sold for 650. Lots of bidding and competition.
Unbelievable.
Which was great.
You'd
Phil.
have to say that those larger kind of 1960s, 1970s apartments,
Yes.
those ones are being discovered in a major way, and they're starting to be re-rated in price. Now, we tipped this in GPTV a couple of years ago where we said those are the standout buyers. They will do well. So
Standout buyers.
The standout properties. Viewers,
It's the heat.
we tipped it. They're being re-rated, and there's still value there. And one of the reasons they're being re-rated, viewers, is because a lot of buyers are now starting to see the new stock in finished form, and the new stock, the new apartments are generally significantly smaller. You might get the glitz,
Yes.
and you might get the 2-bed, 2-bath,
Yep.
but the apartments in the new properties are a good 10, sometimes 25% smaller than the older style properties.
Phil, TRI Avenue had a reserve at the top of the range at 360. It sold for 415 and a half.
Wow,
3 strong bidders going
Yep.
for that one. So the 1-bedroom apartment market's in good shape.
That's a big price
It is
for
a good
one
price.
bedder.
It is, but you know, it was not much bigger than the one around the corner in Dean Avenue, which was also expected to get into the low to mid 3s. Sold for $407,000.
Wow. Having said that, how
well
good
done.
is Dean Avenue as a street?
No, you're right, Phil. Dean Avenue is a great address. Phil, Canbrook Road, we did feature that on GPTV last week. We thought we would get good competition in and around the range, which was 1 to 150, and it ended up selling for 1,350, $200,000 in excess of the top of the range. Congratulations!
Congratulations to you, Gary. I believe you did that auction.
I did do that
Good
auction.
to
I had
see
some
you.
fun for
Good
our
to see you doing some hard work on the weekend.
For our overseas client who was on the line during the auction, Phil, and you wrapped up in Olinda Street, Philip, a fine result there, selling in excess of $2 million while I was at Cambrook.
Big family home, that one, Gary.
The old Woden residence, Phil.
Yes, Shane Woden, the ex-Brownlow medalist from Melbourne, his old house.
Now, there's something we're going to do a little bit different this week. We're going to focus and feature the 4 unsold properties, Philip, the 4 that didn't happen because they are 4 opportunities. One of those is outrageously well priced, I would say, Philip, but let's go through them all. Beaconsfield Parade, now that is a fantastic apartment. We did have a bid and an offer at the auction of $835, right opposite the beach there. It was a beautiful day. Hasn't happened yet, but if you're looking for a beautiful bayside home,
that's a stunning apartment. You don't get any better views than those, Gary. That should go quickly.
Absolutely, it should, Phil. And Carlingford Street, now this is a terrific villa.
Well, I'm tipping, Gary, by the time we go to press here, by the time the viewers get this into their inbox, that will be sold.
Well, if it's not, come and buy it.
$749,000 buys that one, Gary.
Spacious
2 bedrooms, lounge room, separate dining room, kitchen with a meals area, and
garage,
solid
Phil.
brick, Gary.
It is solid as the day it was built, Phil. Now this is the one I think is extraordinarily well priced. It's 356 Kooyong Road, Philip. We were expecting somewhere around 1 to 1.1. We now have an asking price of $999,000. This is a outrageously good opportunity to buy, Philip.
That one won't see the week out. I don't think
that almost impossible to think that could still be here. Last unsold property, Philip, to review is the property in Ackland Street in St Kilda, 101 at 131 Ackland Street, St Kilda. Give Jeremy Rosens a call because this one's got a reserve of $390, I think it is, Phil, and that's got to be good value at that sort of money.
Gary, that's my ideal of a holiday house. Some people want to go down to Shoreham or Flinders or Lorne or wherever. I say just get yourself a little pad in St Kilda, walk to the beach, walk to Luna Park, enjoy the cafes and restaurants downstairs, and a special shout out to Cicciolino, my favourite cafe.
It's a good cafe, isn't it?
Ackland Street.
So something a bit different. They're reviewing the unsold, only 4 of them out of 25. Philip, let's talk a little bit about this property because here we are right in the heart of Orrong Road in Caulfield North, and you're very impressed with this.
Gary, I've got to say, special shout out to Amnon Weber, the architect who designed this, and a special shout out to I2 Homes, who have just created the most spectacular property. I said to Leon Gusenfitter, who's handling this property, after I walked through it, I think this is the best one of its type that I've actually seen.
And what did Leon say to you, Philip?
Well, he said, thank you very much. I'll pass that on to the owners. And he said, more importantly, tell the buyers that on auction day, 4 bedrooms, Gary, not 1 bathroom, not 2 bathrooms, not 3 bathrooms, but 3.5 bathrooms.
Fantastic.
Kitchen, meals, family area, complete with butler's pantry and one of the biggest laundries, which is often a complaint when people are scaling down how small the laundry is.
Absolutely.
Everything here, I think, is the best of its type. Congratulations to the vendors who have done the most magnificent job.
And what a great location, Phil. We've got Glover Station just around the corner, one of our
favourite
cafes.
Yes, Gary, we're known to hang out at Glover Station.
I wouldn't mind having lunch there today if you would like to. What do you think?
Well, I'll come back to you on that.
Okay. Thank you very much. This is a great property, beautifully built. We look forward to seeing you at the auction, Philip, on the weekend. This one goes up at 2:30 on Sunday, Phil. It's one of our 12 auctions over 6 suburbs that we're about to review. Shall we start, Philip?
Let's get into it.
Okay, we start off, Philip, in Khartoum Street in Caulfield North. That is a great street, and this is a wonderful home. Number 49. Darren Crongold's involved.
Gary,
and you're the auctioneer.
this is the most amazing apartment because it's been beautifully renovated. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 undercalf space. But what I do love about this property is its views. It's kind of, you're sitting up there in this glass box. No one can look into you really, but you can see the world.
And you've got to love that, Phil. Now, when I came home last night from Joel Sir's wedding, I drove past this fantastic big board on Punt Road, Phil, just near the corner of High Street, and I saw Joel Sir's name on it because he's been involved in the sale of this property. What a beauty it is too.
Gary, this is a terrific apartment, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, and what a great location. Be part of Windsor, be part of Paran, be part of St Kilda from that location.
Now, it might be late in the year and you might have almost had enough, but you've got a very big day. I think you're doing 6 auctions a Saturday.
I looked at my auction calendar for Saturday and I thought, okay.
That's it. You're going to whip you hard, man. We're going to whip you hard. You're going to be Murrumbina at this wonderful property. We're going to be shooting the Carnegie report, Philip, from there, and that's going to be up on the web and to our database for those that want to see it. But tell us about this property in Kangaroo Road, Murrumbina.
Well, Gary, have a look
You'll
at
be
this.
hopping over there, Phil.
Gary, you've got to love that property. Brand new brilliance. 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, double lock-up garage, everything that opens and closes. Just a stunning property, Gary, and part of the Murrumbina, Carnegie, Glen Huntly, Bentley story that we're just loving.
We are loving it, Phil. We're loving it in Caulfield East too, which is just about in between the two offices. Between Caulfield North and Carnegie lies Caulfield East near the racecourse. Philip, I'm auctioning this picture postcard, perfect home in your words, Phil. Ben Rothschild brings me here. Tell
Gary,
me
Lawn Street is a beautiful location. This is 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, gorgeous gardens, and just the most romantic house from the front fence to the back fence.
When you think about college, Phil, it's not only a great street also, but it's something that you and I didn't have enough marks to go to after school.
You know, let's face it, we are somewhat intellectually challenged, Gary, but we are hard workers and we do love what we do, which gets us through.
It does.
Imagine if we'd not been cerebrally challenged, we might have 300 offices across Australia now.
Indeed, Philip, or may not have been in real estate altogether, but luckily we are in real estate and going to be auctioning this home. You're going to have the auction honours, Phil, at 12:30
3 or
Saturday.
4 bedrooms, Gary, 2 bathrooms, a double undercover car parking in the carport. These houses are great because they represent value. They can be moved into straight away, Gary, or they can be further improved.
You're Mr. Everywhere on Saturday. You're going to be in Caulfield South, Phil, in Grey Street.
Buzzing around,
12A Grey Street. Leon's going to be meeting you there. This is a great looking property.
Gary, brand new, another beautiful Carter Grange story, 3 or 4 bedrooms, 3 glamorous bathrooms. Car parking via a lock-up garage and a car space in front. You've got to love that property, Gary, because it just gives you everything in an affordable price range in Caulfield South, which has become one of Melbourne's most dynamic suburbs.
This is not our most expensive auction of the week, Phil, but I'm going to call it auction of the week in terms of popularity because it has been very popular. In Orong Road, this single-level villa 5 at 52 to 54, Glen Bricker handles.
Gary, we love these little villas because they represent a great way to have a first home or an investment, or to scale down. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 lock-up garage, and check out those gleaming polished floorboards.
Phil, Saturday afternoon comes to a close in Normanby Road. This is a very exciting and schmick-looking property.
Schmick, there's that word.
Sally Zillman's.
Maybe a little bit overutilised this year, Gary, but this property does get the schmick description.
It deserves it.
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, off-street car parking for 1 car. But check out that beautiful Victorian facade and that dynamic and clever renovation at the back. That is a magnificent home.
Leon Guzenfitter is the king of Orong Road on Sunday, Philip. He starts off at 10:30 together with yourself at this auction of this incredible property, 2 at 124 Orong Road in Elstonwick at 10:30.
Yeah, you've got to check out this magnificent apartment because this is one of only 2 basement car park, lift. This is really just 21st century living at its absolute finest. Magnificent inside and an absolute delight to look at from the outside. And of course, once again, walking distance to Glover Station and the dynamic and fabulous Glen Huntly Road shopping centre.
It's a showpiece property, Philip, and you know, on Sunday you've got 4 auctions and you could, I reckon, walk from one to the other. They are so close together.
Do you know what? I might Uber it on the weekend, Gary.
You could put a bike. You could go on a bike.
I could.
You could do the healthy thing.
What do you reckon we next year get some scooters?
I think it's a great idea.
Scooters would be fun, wouldn't they?
Scoot around.
I'm talking about the proper motorbike scooters.
No, you mean the mopeds?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Get
Exactly
matching
right.
with our coffee van, wouldn't it?
Be fantastic.
A whole groovy culture, Gary, because you're pretty groovy.
Oh, groovy indeed. Phil, you're going to be in Glenira Road in Caulfield, right up the top there, 3 at 486 Glenira Road, Caulfield, and the Paris end of Glenira Road.
Yes, I'm not sure which end that is, but this is
either.
the end that's up near the racecourse,
Exactly
up
right.
near Bamber Road.
Yeah.
I love that position. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, off-street car parking via lock-up garage, beautifully renovated throughout. I love those parquetry floors, Gary. A really, really good property.
Maybe the Paris end's not so good to some because it hasn't been so great there lately, has it really?
Do you know what? Let's give Paris its due. It's still a magnificent city, but with obviously some big issues.
Do you reckon in Paris they've got streets, they say it's the Melbourne end
Yes,
of
they
the
don't say
Champs-Élysées?
it's the Melbourne end, they say it's the North Caulfield end.
So they should. We want that respect back. Phil, we're here again, as mentioned, in Orong Road. You are auctioning this showpiece at 2:30. You're going to have a bit of a break between auctions, Phil. But that's a great property, as
Gary,
we've
we've
discussed.
talked about it. The 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, lock-up garage, car space in front. And as I've said, on record as saying I think it's one of the best, if not the best of its type.
We do have some twilight auctions next weekend. Sorry, not the week. Yes, next week.
What are you trying to say,
Well,
Gary?
just
Twilight.
what I'm trying to say is that
Twilight
this
auction, more specifically, is a mid-week Twilight.
Yes. And what I was saying is this is the last auction for a weekend. So you're finishing on a big high, but it's not our last auction for the year because we have a few twilights in the days after. But Phil,
Yes.
3:30 on Sunday, have a look at this majestic period style home in Canberra Grove. That is a quality
Well,
address.
Gary, I think Cambia is really one of my favourite addresses of the Golden Mile.
Yes.
And this is a magnificent home on the north side, which is obviously the choice
Which is
aspect.
the opposite to the south side,
Correct,
I find. Phil.
Gary.
Yes.
6 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, plenty of off-street car parking. But this has got a grandeur, a glory about it, but with all of the modern conveniences, but just the most fabulous family home.
That's 3:30 Sunday, bringing our weekend to a wrap and a close of our weekend auctions for the year, for 2016. Next week, our final GPTV, we're going to wrap up the market, review what's happening, and talk about predictions for next year, Philip.
We're going to call some interesting things next year. We haven't worked out what they're going to be
No
yet,
idea.
but between now and next week,
Yes.
we will make up a great story for you next week.
That's a wrap this week on GPTV. A big weekend real estate, still strong results, strong clearances. The market has finished
Special
on
shout
a
out
high.
again to our staff, 84% clearance rate.
Well done, team.
team. Incredible.
See you next week. I'm Gary Pearce.
I'm Philip Kingston. Have a great week.